a household, word. I did a number of experiments with search engine optimization, and I started as kind of an experiment, a number of experiments, leveraging relationships as an opportunity to try things out, and which is where the comment about promoting your competition comes from. I get a lot of that. A lot of people ask me, "Why are you doing that?" You know, they say, "Look what I did for you." They say, "Well, why?" I say, "Well, just accept it. You know, just accept it." If you start doing Google searches for home inspectors in Northern Virginia, Fairfax, Prince William, you find a lot of people that are there because of participation in programs that I put up. I got an invitation about 5 years ago to speak about search engine optimization to a group of home inspectors. It was a group probably just about this size, and I started just to break the ice with the comment, things like, "You guys have a computer?" And everybody's nodding their heads. And I said, "Well, so you get on the internet?" And they all nod their heads. And I said, "So what browser do you guys use?" And all these dumb looks. And finally, somebody says, "Well, I use Windows XP." And somebody else said, "Oh, yeah, so do I." And if you didn't get that, maybe it's a good that we start at the beginning. I got it. So that's the kind of technique I've come up with to kind of find out who my audience is. Okay. It took a second. Okay. You got it right away.
I did get it right away.
Okay. This one. Okay. Now the problem is I don't have a remote, so I'm going to have to kind of keep bouncing back and forth to get to or I don't know how to work the remote. And I couldn't figure it out. I didn't have all my time. Isn't this supposed to do it? So anyway, I want to be over here on part left. I don't want to spend a lot of time with preliminaries, but yeah, you're right. A browser is that software that runs on your computer that accesses the internet. HTML is the publishing language of the internet. The URL. I realize this is real basic, but just to make sure we're all on the same page. And you might hear me using some of these acronyms. URL is your website address. And then when we get into this question of how do we get ourselves and our message out there to people who are looking on the internet, we concern ourselves with the Google search results, the search engine results pages. So you may hear that term SERPs come up from time to time. SEO is the art and science of manipulating or affecting the search engine results and or the SERPs. And if we take a quick look at this notion of how do we address the question of who's looking for me? I mean, I don't think I'll ever forget that first. What are those moments in life? I remember the Kennedy assassination. The Kennedy assassination, the World Trade, when I got married, when my kids were born, right? Those moments in life. Okay, yeah. I remember the day that I did that. I sat down and did that first Google search, asking myself the question: what would a consumer? What are the keywords that a consumer would use if they were looking for the service that I provide? Right? Yeah, because that's an important. It's more important than the vanity search. You know, where do I? If I Google my own name, where do I show it? Really, what's more important is if I do the search that other people would do if they were looking for somebody who sells what I sell. Okay, and that became an interesting challenge for me. So this is actually the first one I ever did. I was a home inspector, and what I recognized very quickly was when I found that national organizations and online directories showed up high in the search results. I realized that was really the wrong term. I needed something a little bit more narrow than that. So I added a geographic term. And I realize we're staying real basic, but we're going to get a little bit farther into this as we go. Everybody recognize that we got the sponsored searches over here, which sometimes shows at the top, and we're not going to talk about that at all. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying it's out of this discussion for the time being. I'm more focused over here in the organic listings, sometimes called the natural search. And then what I think really is important is to recognize that within the search results are another subset of search results that are, I mean, Google is just a website, and it finds other websites, right? It sends you to other pages. Well, other pages are just as are located out there online in the same sphere. It's just that Google sends more people to them than they send to Google. I mean, that's really the only difference. So we have this notion of the directory, and because I'm a home inspector, that's really the kind of the directory that I'm interested in. I spent a lot of time looking at this particular one. Why? Because it showed up right at the top of the search for home inspectors. That was one. Not that I was looking for a home inspector, but I was trying to figure out how to get people who were looking for a home inspector to find me. So what did I do? When I realized that this directory was well positioned, what did I do? And what happened? Well, I went and got a subscription. When I got a subscription, but I also started analyzing what this guy was doing. The guy who owned this website started analyzing what is he doing to get there. And that began a pretty extraordinary journey for me. And the first thing I did is get my own listing. The name of my company is ThoroughStack. There I am, the third one there. And if you click on, you click on my name, you get my company name. You get a description of the services that I provide. So we would refer to this as my profile on this directory, right? And it's got built into it a contact form and whatnot. This is the very first website that I ever put up. It's nothing very special. It's been in existence for about 6 years, and it's been number 3 or number 4 for a Google search for home inspector in Virginia for about 3 years. Can't quite get it to the top because I have another website that is at the top. Somebody's got to be number 2, right? But the reason I use this one, I mean, I don't think it's an especially powerful website, but it's the one that I learned on, and so it kind of makes it easy for me to discuss because it's in, it kind of fits with my psyche. So if we take a real quick look at this notion of what does Google do when it analyzes a site and decides what to list and what rank to list them in the search results. So in my thinking, it falls into 2 categories. We have category 1, which is it asks the question, what's the site about? What's this page about? And then the other thing it does is it says, well, how important is this page? So what's it about? It says, well, we're going to rank it, we're going to deliver this web page in response to a query relevant to certain terms. And then we're going to ask the question, where do we put it in this, where do we list it in this list of 10 million pages that come back for that same term, or set of terms. So if you just think about it in terms of browsing the stacks of the library, right? If you look at the books, do you take the book off the shelf and open the book to find out the name of the book? No, you can look right on the binding of the book and say, oh, that's the name of the book. And I can find what? I can find the title of the book. I can find the author. And why are those 2 pieces of information there? Because they're important. In fact, they're the 2 most important pieces of information to the person who is trying to find the book. There's the 3rd piece of information, however. And what's that? Well, that's what everybody says. That's what, but the publisher put on there. I need to change the way I ask that question because that's the answer I always get.
The year it was published.
The publisher, not the year it was published, but the name of the publisher. Okay, and the answer to that question. So the question then is, why is that? We know why the first 2 there, the title and the author, but why is the publisher's name there? What makes the publisher so important? Why did the publisher put his name there? And the answer is because he can. right? Okay, so and so what do you always see? Not always, but some often see at the bottom of web pages is, you know, whoever designed the site. And why did you do it? Because nobody told me to take it off. Take it off. Look, I paid you for this. Why don't you just take the little thing off the bottom? We don't seem to mind. People don't mind that little tag at the bottom. So anyway, if we think about the binding of the book and we look at the title in the top of a lot of people never even look up there. But what I've discovered is that's one of the first place Google looks. What's the name of the website, the title of the website? So if we start taking keywords, these words that people are looking for, and we start putting them in these strategic locations, Google starts analyzing, asking this first question, what's it about? Okay? So if you put keywords up there in the title, and then also in the URL itself. Now, wouldn't it be great? There's this trend for everybody to go out and stop naming their website. They don't name their website their company name anymore.